Yeah, my name is Lars Nielsen, and I'm one of the founders and was CDO at Sitecore, one of the unicorn business of Denmark until last year. Now I invest in businesses, data-driven businesses, done 15 investments in businesses who utilize data, machine learning, AI, and associated technologies. And I also advise major organizations into becoming data-driven businesses.
How do you feel Data Talks fits into the debate around data utilization?
Well, I think essentially the world is changing, and what we're seeing is a rapid movement towards becoming data-driven businesses. Data Talk is really relevant because we have been through journeys of big data. Now people are discussing machine learning, but the thing is you cannot do big data. You can do big data, but you cannot do machine learning. You cannot get sense out of the data unless the data is clean, it's accurate, and your organization itself is matured enough and willing enough to do the investments in that data.
Which topics do you feel Data Talk should touch upon at the coming talk?
Well, I think there are two things that is really important. The first thing is, how do you anchor, the decision to be data-driven, not at some individuals in the organization, but within the entire organization. How do you turn the organization itself into a data-driven business rather than having some people in the organization understanding that? Because you will never succeed unless you start utilizing data in the entire organization. The second thing I think is important is when you've made that decision, somebody is willing to commit, how do you do your first steps? Where do you start, right? One is obviously getting data in, but how do you get sense out of it? How do you activate? How do you roll it out, the first change based on data? Some of it is really simple, and some of it would require more organizational structure. So how do you mature your organization into that kind of process?
How do you see CluedIn bringing value to the data universe?
Well, I think it's obvious. If you look into the becoming a data-driven business, of course, first you need to anchor it in the organization. The second thing is you need to collect all your data and you need to connect all your data, and then you need to make sure that data is valid. So you need to clean up your data before you can actually use the data. Otherwise, you start using data that is incorrect, and then it really makes no sense. It's just guesswork. And to get to that, you need to do that kind of process, and that's exactly where CluedIn excels is, collecting data, connecting data, and cleaning data.
How do you see CluedIn fit into the companies you're engaged in?
Oh yeah, I'm engaged in a lot of different businesses, right? Some of them still too small for CluedIn, but I would say any growth business and any major business organization and enterprise needs systems like CluedIn. The thing is, almost nobody has that. So the question is really simple. CluedIn would be suitable and highly suitable for almost every single business I engage with, but I bet that it would be relevant for every single business on this globe.